It's the Puck Boys Fantasy Hockey Podcast with James,
Welcome, Puck Boys.
Derek,
Quality content.
Spencer,
He's an asshole, but goddamn, I would love to meet that guy.
and Max.
All right, welcome to episode 12 of the Puck Boys podcast. And today we're bringing back the return of Roast Your Roster. Boys, we knocked it out of the park on the first one. Roast Your Roster.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're going to bring her back in a little bit, but first off, Spenny, you have the floor.
Oh, man. Well, some big news in my outside of the podcast life.
Wait, what? Whoa. You have a life?
You've got one of those?
I sure do.
Holy shit.
So, in my
Congratulations.
out of podcast life, I work in animation, and a show that I've been working on for the past year was just released on Netflix, November 1st. It's called Hello Ninja. It's amazing. It looks beautiful. It's funny. It's for the whole dang family. And I just wanted to promote it, a little free promotion. And, well, I got paid. Out of all these guys, I got paid because that's my salary. But that's pretty much it. It's a good show about two kids that dress up as ninjas and go on adventures. So, what's not to love? But yeah, I just want to fucking put it
That's
out
a
there.
big accomplishment,
Hello
though, man,
Ninja.
so congratulations.
Hell yeah, Ninja. Hell yeah, boys.
Dude, ninjas are scary, though.
Not this one.
Okay.
This one is right up your alley, Derek.
okay.
So these guys are ninjas. Well, they're for preschool.
Okay.
Give us just like the 30-second synopsis of the wacky adventures.
Whether it's you mopping your floor or going off and chasing a pesky rabbit, Georgie and Wesley and their trusty cat Pretzel, they go off and set forth on adventure after gearing up in their ninja equipment and going to fuck up some jelly and stuff. But yeah, it's they go into this ninja world after being in the real world with their Bachan, who is their grandmother in Japanese, and she turns into a dragon named Kuma.
Oh, wow.
Well-
I don't even need to watch it now.
Yes, you do, Jim.
I need to watch it.
Check my name out in the credits. Not a fucking big deal.
And to make a long story short,
story
hockey.
Nothing to do with hockey. The whole fucking thing has nothing to do with hockey.
No, that's
but
awesome,
It's great.
Spenny. That's great. That's
Yeah, man, your life rips. It's awesome.
What?
Your life rips.
Rips.
Your life rips.
Hell yeah. That's all.
Hell yeah.
All right, so are we ready for the return? Derek, you have the floor.
Roast Your Roster is back.
All right, so whose roster are we roasting today, Spenny?
Well, we've got my boy Braden here. He's using ESPN.
Ooh.
It's an all right platform. I've used it before in the past. It's pretty much essentially the exact same as Yahoo. But with his league, it's a points league. It's 3 points for a goal, 2 for an assist, 1 for power play points, 2 for shorthanded goals, 0.2 for shots on goal, 5 for wins, half a point for goals against, minus 0.1 for saves, and 3 points for shutouts. So
All right, that's not
it's
bad.
a pretty normal. That's kind of the same as ours. You know our feelings about plus minus. So
Yeah. No, I it's weird that they only have goals as secondary stats. So they don't have any of the other like hits or anything like that. So I guess you're going after those guys that shoot a lot, right?
yeah, it doesn't really give you much diversity in the players that you choose. You're pretty much going for the straight shooters who are going to get you goals and points, which could ultimately do you a favor. But looking at his team right off the bat, it's Pasternak, Goudreau, Gensel, Marchessault, Dylan Strome, Carlson. Like those first few guys are looking really good.
He's got Pasternak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can carry your team all the way.
Holy fuck. This
That
guy's,
is.
He's been the best player in the
Oh.
league this year. So
I want him.
Yeah. And he's got John Carlson, which is the best defenseman in the league. So he's got the best forward and he's got the best defenseman.
Don't
in the
forget Rupe Hintz.
league. Yeah.
Guys, he may be injured right now, and he's probably ruled out for this upcoming Sunday. But he's a fucking legend.
yeah,
And it looks like he's got Malkin on the IR too. I don't know how he managed to swing that, but that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
The one guy though I see that he had to have drafted pretty high is DeBrincat.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not a fan of DeBrincat. It's just he's just really not a fucking huge stud like some people put him out to be. He's a great player. Pretty sure he played with McDavid back in juniors, so that's why he had a bit more hype. But all in all, I see that guy declining from a 96% owned guy to a probably by the end of the season around 64.
Yeah, and he also has Dylan Strome, his line mate, who
That's
I'm
a tough
not,
look.
I'm not a fan of
very
Dylan
tough
Strome.
look.
Yeah. He also has was it Andreas Johnson from
Andreas
Toronto?
Janssen. Better luck
doing-
next time, Gummer.
Yeah, he's been fairly good. But again, like he's a third line guy in my opinion. Doesn't have a lot of upside in terms of goal scoring.
Yes, he does.
I don't know. He's gonna score 20 this year, maybe.
He'll score. I'm fairly certain he scored almost 20 last year.
Yeah.
And
That's what I mean.
this year he plays with Matthews. He'll score 20. I think he's already got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Check it out.
All right. I know he has. I know he has 5 or 6 goals. I know.
Stat check.
I guess the big thing that really we can't determine is we just don't know how many people are in the league. So seeing the guys that he's drafted, because it really dwindles away fucking pretty hard. His defense are not bad with Carlson, Shabbat. Quinn Hughes is, it's not a hitting league, so that's fine. He's a decent enough player, Jake Muzzin. But the goalie situation, that's unfortunate.
Just one sec. Back to the defense. Is this a keeper league?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is a keeper league. I didn't get a ton
The
of details.
potential on his defense is amazing because Carlson is the best defenseman in the league this year, fantasy and real life.
Yep.
Shabbat had a huge year last year, not quite there again this year, but he definitely has the capability of being a 56
And he'll turn
guy.
it around. He'll be good.
Hughes has been immense, and he's, I think, going to keep getting better. If you
Top
have
three
him, he's a
rookies.
guy you're looking
Quinn
at
Hughes.
as a keeper. Yeah, sorry, Quinn Hughes. And then he has Heiskanen on the bench, who I think is probably the best young defenseman in the league.
You're right. I'll take that statement back then. His
Yeah.
defense actually are looking pretty good.
They're young.
It's pretty good.
They're
It's
not
pretty
the
good.
Yeah.
best right now, but if he could keep a couple of those guys, or maybe by the end of the year they warm up, I really like his defense.
Yeah. No, you've definitely changed my mind.
Now
They're
rip his
looking
goalies.
pretty good.
Damon's was it what's his
Severson?
name? Severson.
Severson?
is-
Trash.
The only reason
not
I'd
very
actually
good.
want him on my team right now is because New Jersey plays 4 games in Week 5, which we're on right now, and
That's
so
why I picked up Vatanen.
that's why you pick up New Jersey guys. You look at that research column. Well, this is the same fucking idea with ESPN, but his goalies with Matt Murray's, he's doing decent. Mike Smith is doing not too bad, but he's she's sharing the net. He's got James's boy Carter Hart, the untradeable, and Henrik Lundqvist, who New York is really. They're doing what they were expected to do before Capo Caco and before all these big transactions with picking up Panarin. I see Lundqvist turning it around because he...
No.
Well, never mind. Looks like Lundqvist is off.
You're canceled.
He's canceled.
He's done.
He's been
He's
returned to the
done.
recycling depot.
It's unfortunate, but he's washed.
He's
So,
washed up.
So the goalie situation for him, it's a bit shady. Murray's not bad, but Smith, Hart, and Lundqvist...
Yeah.
That you might have to find somebody to fucking send a couple trades off to and pester your buddies in your pool.
Gentlemen, do we have our verdicts?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Are we doing divorce, red vines, and hot dogs? Or are we just going
Well,
with
thanks for
numbers?
spoiling the surprise. Spencer, how many divorces out of 10?
Oh shit. 6.5 divorces.
What does half a divorce look like?
It's like a separation trial.
Okay.
But
But do they
messy.
get back together or do they eventually divorce?
it just depends. They go for coffee.
Do they just
They talk.
stay together for the
They
kids?
have-
They've got kids,
They,
man.
they touch
Was
each
it a
other's
break-
no-nos out of wedlock.
Yeah, did they like do things with other people like outside of the was
They
it
have.
No,
but
they're
it
just
got
unhappy.
no man. It got really, really heated. It got real tense, and they tried again. They're like, okay, but I can't live with the thought that you slept with Carl. So we're really nice with our fucking like. I don't want to rip this guy apart. Let's give him 7 divorces.
All right, so in the 7 divorces, do the kids blame themselves?
One of the kids is suffering from severe anxiety and just overthinks everything, and so because of that, yes, they blame it on themselves. But it's not their fault. It is not their. It's never their fault. It's that fucker Carl who came out of nowhere.
All right.
All right, Derek, how many hot dogs out of 10?
I think he's got a decent team. I'm going to go ahead and give him 7.5 dogs out of 10.
And were these ones done up on the barbecue or in the wiener water?
You know what? These are it's wiener waters. It's not upper echelon. You get to the top stuff, that's the barbecue.
All right, so he has 7 dogs, but they're not the best dogs.
They're not the best.
Okay.
One of them's a veggie.
They're no names.
An Eve's dog. Not that there's anything wrong with those. I love those too, but
If they're there, you're gonna have them.
yeah.
You don't
I'll eat it.
discriminate on the dogs, do you,
All right,
Derek?
No,
Phil.
absolutely not.
All right, James, how many red vines out of 10?
All right. These are gonna be very specific red vines. They're gonna be they're gonna be a little flimsy because you've used them as straws for your fucking swamp water.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give him 8 flimsy red vines out of 10.
Are they
because-
fresh out of the package, or have these guys been sitting with like an unopened
Oh
lid?
no, for the swamp
No,
wire.
they're-
They've all
they're
been
soggy.
they've all been used for swamp wire, so they're all a little soggy.
We
but,
just
you
finished
know,
laser tag. We're at Pizza Hut.
That's right.
They're soggy as fuck.
But
eight used licorices.
Okay, I'm giving him 8. And the reason why I'm giving 8 because Pasternak is fucking incredible. John Carlson is fucking incredible, and Malkin's just hitting on his IR there, which I think he's got a really good team.
Yeah,
He's
I'd
got
say
balance.
There's 2 really nice barbecued bratwursts in that,
Oh yeah,
and then the rest are just kind of like flimsy top dog.
it's wiener water dogs.
Yeah.
That's it.
This guy brings
Alright.
a thermos to work, has a little tea bag coming out of it. It looks like he's drinking tea. That's fucking wiener water soup.
That's fucking wiener water soup, boys.
The next guy that we're roasting is our boy Connor. His team, the Peter North Stars.
Great fucking name.
Great name.
Hey, Derek, who's Peter North?
Peter North is a immigrant from Mexico who created the hamburger.
Is that so? Not.
Who is he, Max? Confirm my story or deny
Peter
it.
North is an 80s porn star.
Big mustache.
And
Big something else.
not as big of a wrench as Ryan. But
It may not be long, but it sure is skinny.
maybe skinny, but it really smells.
All right, so what are the rules of his league, Spencer?
It's a fucking categories league.
Oh no! Boo!
So this fucking Bush league, they have
Start boiling the water, Derek.
holy shit. You've got goals, assists, points, power play points, shots on goal, hits, and for goalies, wins, goals against, and save percentage. So pretty standard. Minimum 3 goalie appearances per week, very standard. Yeah.
All right, that's good. You know that he only has 3 categories for goalies. Sometimes I've been in part of leagues where they have like 5, and your entire weekly matchup is dependent on if your goalie's played well that week. So 3 that's good. Capping at that. Yeah, I mean that's fairly standard. I'm not a fan of categories, but some people like it. And
I'm also not a fan of this team.
Yeah, break it down for us, Ben.
Well, as per usual, starts off. This one doesn't even really start off too. He's got Stamkos
Nice.
at center left wing. Stammer is a fucking gem. Kopitar, that would have been a late steal no matter what. He would have picked him up in the later rounds, and he's doing just as well as we had predicted or Derek and James had predicted. And then we see Adam Henrique, who we've just been informed is the highest scorer on the Anaheim Ducks, but it's still fucking Adam Henrique.
8 fucking goals. though.
8 goals. That's
8
pretty
goals.
good. Pretty good.
Adam Henrique. So he's not going to continue that for the rest of the year. He was decent enough in Jersey. Gets traded over for Vatanen. They're both doing pretty much equally the same. We go down the list and we see Jaden Schwartz. He's a first liner, second liner on St. Louis.
Yeah.
Another guy who can really screw you over in key games, but all in all, he's a decent enough player. But
If he plays like he did in the playoffs last year, he's a special player.
a couple of years ago, he was a hot commodity. He was somebody that everybody was going for, and he's just not there anymore. He could be, but his percentages for being owned are quite low.
I don't know. I kind of like him.
I like him too, though. I do like him. Then it goes to Anthony Mantha, another really late pick for him that would have turned.
Yeah, maybe a waiver. He started really well as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
And
so-
Anthony Mantha's having an amazing year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like he's
Yeah.
gonna just continue that. There's no way this guy's gonna fucking cool down.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a slightly, but all in all, at the end of the season, he'll probably finish 50, 60 points.
It's a breakout year.
That's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
pick.
TJ Oshie, too. He's killing it. He's ripping it up.
Yeah, TJ Oshie's having a good year. Yeah.
Even Raquel. I'm not a big fan of Raquel at all, but he's having an okay season. I think that's a tradable, though. He's, because of the performance he's putting on right now, I think that you're ready to swap him out. That's a good guy to put on your trading fucking block right now. Ivan Provorov. That's your starting defenseman? Holy shit. That's not good at all.
Ooh, it gets worse.
It gets so much fucking worse. Then it goes to fucking Slavey boy, Jacob Slavin. James's boy, Josh Morrissey, not breaking 30 fucking points this year. Probably will, though.
He will.
Yeah, no, he will. Hamilton's crushing it. Massive fucking pick.
That's a good player.
Goudreau, he's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
But that you know that's a fucking top pick. Like, you know that he picked him
Yeah.
over a lot of other players, whereas in our league, there is only a certain amount of... This is me justifying for myself now because I've been trying to trade him every fucking day since I've had him.
Yeah.
But he's okay in this league because there's no penalty minutes, stuff like that. So
He is. It's just
he's-
he's been really slow
Yeah.
for the
He's
past
got
several
way
games.
more value.
he's
He
he's
does.
gonna get over 80 points. So
He's not gonna help you in hits. That's the only thing he's not gonna help you.
no.
He's got Darlene too. Endless power play assists.
Yeah,
all day
Darlene's
long.
good, but again, he would have had to have been a high pick over a lot of other better players. Trocheck, I love Trocheck. I think this guy's just severely underrated. He's a first, second line guy on Florida that always does it, and he's a versatile sort of player where he's going to hit every category for you. So great pick.
Yeah, I love that pick.
But I can see that D to D on your fucking team right now, Connor. So throw him under the IR plus. Arvidsson, he's good for categories. League Schmaltz, great season. So we're pretty much just fucking listing every guy on your goddamn
Yeah.
team.
No, we should.
And one small thing about Schmaltz is that he's a center, a left wing, and a right wing. So getting those, I really like those guys like Drew who have that versatility. So
Schmaltz just sucks ass though. That's the
Yeah.
that's the bottom
Dude,
line.
he's been fucking
He's been
killing
alright.
it for the past few games.
last
He's been a
couple
top
games he's been
pickup.
good. Yeah.
he's been all right. And
Can't get
so
behind it.
who else do we got there, Spen?
Brady Tkachuk. So in this sort of a league, he's not going to put up a ton of points. In our league, great player. Really,
Great.
really strong player. But here, he's not, I don't know.
He's gonna help in the hits category.
He still got the hits. Hits is important category.
That-
Hey,
okay.
it's
He
good to
needs
see
that.
that
He's big there.
It's good to see that he is four-lip Frostberg.
Farlip.
You know, I listened to myself. I didn't say that. Okay.
Firesburg.
Farlip. So he's got Farlip, and that's a great player. Malkin, he's on the IR, so
He's skating though. He's coming. He's almost back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
his goalies he's got a bit of a rough look, and the goalies, other than Carey Price, who's a fucking all-star, he's a Hall of Famer. He will always fucking be there for you, right by your side, holding your hand, combing
Like
your
Rick
hair,
Astley.
buying you fucking ice cream. Mike Smith, however, will beat the shit out of you, and then say to his boy Koskinen, "Your turn," and he'll beat the shit out of you. So that's fucked up. And then Lundqvist. So it's all in all, my overall opinion is the team's pretty weak. He does have some really strong players, but not enough to fucking take him to the finals and possibly a playoff position.
One thing I noticed at the bottom here, so our league, we have what, 5 ads per week? 4 per week. His at the bottom says he's used 6 of his 30 ads for the entire season.
Yeah.
So they only get 30 for the year, and then
Yeah.
you're done. So he's been sparing so far with only 6. So he's got some flexibility, but yeah, I don't like that.
You
at
got to
all.
be super careful with who you're picking because that's a tight fucking look.
Yeah.
30, like it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely against it, but because of our league having 100 for the season, 4 per week, I think I'm just more biased because I love our league and I love our point structure. Thanks, Jim, because I know you put a lot of research. He's an engineer. He's a smart guy, big dick. And so that's just my personal opinion about your
All right.
thanks.
Do
points.
Yeah, I mean, 6 out of the 30, you're already a fifth of the way through, right? So we're not a fifth of the way through the season yet, are we? I mean, we're 15 games in of 80?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe no.
I feel like you're going to use
no,
most of your
maybe
ads.
around there. You're
I
getting
feel
close
like
there.
you're going to use most of your ads early though, because that's when the guys who weren't drafted are.
I'm in a league similar to that, and last year I tried to save my moves, and I was like very, very certain on who I picked up. Like you'd always just throw it away. You're like, I don't care. I'll save it. I'll save it. I had like 12 moves at the end of the year that I never used.
Yeah.
So it's more than you think, and you can play with a few of those.
Because there's always those guys who don't get drafted, and then they get picked up in the first few games early in the year, and then they're never on the waivers again.
Exactly.
Because they end up having.
You don't need to be that cautious with it. A little bit cautious, obviously, but
So
use the moves.
do we have a verdict there, boys?
Yeah, I got a number.
All right. How many red vines out of 10, Jim?
These are fresh red vines, okay? None of this soggy shit
Okay.
from last time.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a 6 3/4 of one red vine because I took a bite. I'm thinking about them now.
Who'd you take a bite out of on this team?
I don't like his defense at all. Sorry, Connor. Yeah, I mean, Slavin was great, and I'm sure you picked him up. I'm sure you used one of your 6 pickups at the beginning of the year for him, and you got Dougie Hamilton and Slavin, but I don't know. Like Josh Morsey, I do like. Dahlin and Provenov. Like, if you're in a categories league here, Provolone.
Provolone.
Old Ivan Panagar.
Hardy.
Prangle him.
Some of these guys get
Gruyere.
points, but these are they don't get hits, or a lot of them don't get hits, and I don't really see them being huge point producers, other than maybe Dougie Hamilton. So your forwards, I think you've been hurt by injuries with Phil Forsberg and Malkin out for a bit here, but your goalies, holy fuck, man, you have only one goalie I really like, and obviously it's Carey Price.
Malkin's back now though,
But
but he
Malkin
was
is
out
back.
for a long time.
He was,
that
so
hurts.
he's probably hurting at this point because he's dealt with some injuries. But 6.5 right now because your defense and your goalies are kind of hurting. But Stamkos and Malkin, that's a pretty good combo in your centers. So
All right, Derek. How many hot dogs out of 10?
Solid 7 dogs out of 10. Not bad. He's got a couple of weak spots. Make a trade. Pick up a couple new guys. He's got a decent team. He's got a good start here.
All right. Spencer?
I gotta
How many-
go.
How many divorces out of 10, Spencer?
I'm gonna go 6 1/3 divorces.
Okay, now what's a third divorce?
yeah, what is a third divorce?
Mormons. I really like his forwards. His forwards are super strong. Like, that's what's going to do it for his team. But the defense and the goalies I'm just not having it. I think that Carey Price is dope as fuck. Dope as fuck. But the defense is just trash. And there are a couple forwards there where, because it's a category, strictly because its categories are not as beneficial, but it's not terrible. It's not, I can see you making the playoffs. I don't know about a championship winning team, but that's a championship winning name. That's for absolute sure.
Yeah, you
Yeah, the
get
name
points
you got.
just for the name.
Yeah.
I love a good fantasy name. So let's move over to our last guy, Derek, one last time for the evening.
Roast your roster.
My cousin Ryan. This is actually my brother's league. He's the commissioner of it. Derek and I are in this league.
First place, baby.
So it's pretty favorable in goalies. It's not favorable in the guys like Brady Tkachuk, who might get you some hits, but are going to get you those minuses. So
it
it
a-
just counteracts.
Is it a keeper?
It is a keeper league. We did lose a few guys last season and then brought in Derek and Nathan, so we actually did a full redraft.
So we're getting a little long in this episode here, so if you let me, I'll run through these players here. Right at the top, probably his first pick, probably a keeper. We have Matthews. Nothing wrong with that. Awesome player. Then we have Backstrom in his second center role, another great guy. Gets a little dusty with DeBrusque, probably someone that he spent a decently high draft pick on, probably somewhere in the high middle there. Hasn't had a very good season at all, been pretty bad actually. Huberdeau, guy I really like. I thought he was being heavily underrated at the beginning of the season.
He's a monster.
Yeah,
He got 90 points last
He
year.
doesn't get enough love. He's
And he was
incredible.
getting drafted in
So
third, fourth
underrated.
round.
Him and
He's
Barkov.
awesome.
It's a great player.
Dude, Hoffman, Barkov, fucking Huberdeau, Trocheck. Florida's killer, man.
And then we go from underrated to overrated. Nylander, not a huge fan of him.
William Nylander.
Sorry, William
Two of them
Nylander.
now.
Yeah,
He scored a nasty goal the other day, but he's trash.
he's talented.
yeah,
he
he
just,
is.
he just,
Not
yeah.
amazing.
He's yeah. And then we have DePringat. We already talked about him this evening. Kind of in the same boat as Nylander. All talents in the world. A little bit overrated. Then we have Kako.
That's a risk. That was just
Yeah.
one of
That's
those
a flyer.
high
Yeah.
risk, high rewards, taking a wager.
In a keeper league, you gotta swing on those guys.
You
You
gotta
have
shoot
to.
your shot.
You really have
Absolutely.
to. So don't blame him for that one. That's just an unfortunate event.
Yeah. And then you could turn it around. I mean, a lot of the really great rookies in the last 10 years or so started slow and then put it together. Then starting onto his defense, we have Justin Falk. Really solid player. Nothing
But he's
wrong
having
with
a
that one.
fucking awful season. He
Yes.
is not doing well at all.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's another guy where it's like, where is that coming from? Like, how is he not doing this? Why, like, the guy that could fucking put up 20 power play points, why is he not doing that
It's 'cause
with a
Pete-
better team?
It's because Peter Angelo's the number one power
Yeah,
play guy.
that's
there.
true.
Yeah.
That takes
Yeah.
away so much from
But you
Falk.
think that would be a support because
For
even
sure.
even in Carolina, he did have some support, but he was the go-to key guy, and he was able to do that. Whereas they have in St. Louis, they have Peter Angelo. I figured out was the proper way of pronouncing it, even though I've been saying Petrangelo my whole life. It's Peter
Petrangelo.
Angelo.
Peter Rangelo.
Probably just say
Petrangelo.
Petrangelo still. And
Yeah.
then Parayko's not too bad. And then they lost Edmondson for Falk. But it's just it's a disappointment that Falk is not doing it. So
Well-
I don't blame him for that. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, on Rye's team, though, I don't think it matters. It looks like he's his fifth defenseman because he has
That's right.
Ollie Ekman-Larsson, he has Giordano, he has Yandel, and then on the bench there, he's Brent Burns.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
love his defense.
His defense
So-
are
His
fucking
defense is
That's right.
fantastic.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That's
If
Oh,
Falk
amazing.
is your fifth best defenseman, you are in
Oh,
good
man, his
shape.
bench. This is a good bench.
And then his utility guy there is Dylan Larkin. He's one of my favorite young players in the league. One of the fastest guys in the league, probably just behind McDavid there. He's gonna have a great long career. He's
Faster than you can see or speak.
yeah, especially you, Derek.
Fucking fast.
And then finish off his bench there. He has freaking Eichel hiding on the bench.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite young players in the league. And then Mantha, and then Rupe.
Rupe.
Yeah.
The really sad thing about Ryan's team is, it doesn't look too bad, but he's sitting at 0-4. It's tough luck.
That's surprising. And
Surprising.
it goes on.
It's
He
a
has
good team.
Anders Lee,
It's a
the
team.
perennial
Lee.
keeper Anders Lee.
Yeah,
And then Brady Kachuk, and then Tarasenko on his IR.
So
That's
he
That's
finally
tough.
gets
That's
Tarasenko
tough.
back after he loses him to me last year for Parise, and now he's out for fucking
This is a really good team. How many players are in this league?
8. This
Okay,
is a
yeah, so
small,
that makes
small
sense.
league.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. And then he has only 2 goalies, which I think is that a smart move in that league? Or?
Yeah, I don't think that's the greatest move
No.
because, well, shit, man.
In that league, I've got 3. Spencer's got 4.
Yeah. I always try to hold on to at least
Always
3.
have
Just-
pretty decent points.
Just to
Yeah.
fucking pump my own tires, my goalies in this league, and I made a point of picking them up. Connor Hellebuck, Jordan Binnington, John Gibson, Braden Holtby.
Goalies are important in this league. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys tell me, but
5 points for a shutout, 3 points for a win. I mean, that's 8 points right there. Not if it's a shutout win and you make, I don't know, 30 saves, that's over a 10-point night. You should have way more
Easy.
than 2 goalies. You should
That-
have at least 3.
yeah.
Your forwards are great. Your defense is fantastic. I would say you got to swing a deal to get a starting goalie in there.
yeah, and not only that, you only have 2 positions for your centers, left wings, right wings, and you have 1 utility forward position. And how many defense positions? I think it's 4.
It's 4.
And
He's got 4 great
and
defensemen.
and utility, yeah. His name's Adrop. So Adrop, coming from waivers and picking up players, adding players, the whole shebang. You guys get it.
Well,
You
I
do
get it.
fantasy just like us.
It's
You
sneaky.
fucking
You guys
get it.
understand.
Sneaky.
So he picked up that name from one of my really good buddies, Dave. He was in the pool. He is expired in that pool, in that league now, on his own will. And I have to say, the guy was a back-to-back champion. But he was a back-to-back champion because of unlimited ad drops. Now, it's not in any way at all cheating. It's not in any way a fucking thing that he's doing against the league.
He just tried way harder.
He just was a bit more diligent with picking up his players. So he had 194 ad drops. Second place had
Holy
24.
Shit.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
So in my personal opinion, that's not the way that I like to conduct my team, but it will win you championships. That's why we have set the limit to 3 ads per week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hence the name Ad Drop. A little history for you.
Little
History
history.
buffs
Well,
there.
thank you.
All right. So, James, how many red vines out of 10?
These are just your regular red vines. I'm not gonna give them anything special and I'm gonna give it 6. I'm gonna give it 6 red vines out of 10, and I'm critical because you put a lot of emphasis on your forwards. You have great forwards in terms of Matthews and Tarasenko is supposed to be your guy. Eichel is a great forward, but you have a lot of guys in here that I don't like. Jake DeBrusk, William Nylander, Capo Caco is not a very good forward. In terms of rate, maybe in the future he'll be great, and then your goalies. I'm sorry, in a league like this where you really need goalie support, Carey Price is a stud, but Robin Leonard is a really good goalie, but he's still sharing the crease right now. In a league where other people, like these 2 bums over here, have 3+ goalies, pick up another goalie, bud. Try and find a starting goalie.
Or just take one of my fucking trade offers because I've offered you one of those guys at least a bunch of times.
All right. So, Spencer, how many divorces out of 10?
I'm going to stroke him a bit here. I'm going to give him...
Like someone was stroking Carl.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on that fucking guy. I'm going to give him a 7.85 divorces. Because his...
Okay.
Dude,
How does that happen?
because that's what I'm giving him.
You're just gonna have to learn to live with it.
Because 7.85 divorces is the average amount of divorces per family member in the Cassell family.
All right, Derek, how many hot dogs out of 10?
It's a decent team. The sitting at 0-4 is pretty tough, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him 7 dogs out of 10. Those are uncooked, straight out of the package. A lot of room to grow, a lot of potential, but they're uncooked.
They're still raw
seven
dogs.
Uncooked dogs.
They're
They're
still raw dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good team. I think the clear issue with this team is the two goalies. He's leaving points out there by having nights where he has no goalies playing in a league with heavy goalie points. I think you can easily, your forwards and your defense are good enough to definitely not be an 0-4 team. Get another goalie. Get a goalie. That's your most important thing. So
I'm just giving him a high rating because of his defense are fucking nuts. Like
His
they're
defense
actually,
is
they're
amazing.
insane. And his forwards, they're not amazing, but he's got those underrated key players, and I don't know. I think it's just his defense is just that's what's getting me hard here.
all right, well, we'll end it there. Rosters have been roasted. Some rosters have been toasted. And it's been a good evening for roasting rosters. And we'll see you next time on the Puck Boys podcast.
James still sucks at hockey.